Hello, and welcome to the DVD Graveyard, where we talk pretty much all horror all the time. And that's not really a problem. We might talk about some other stuff another day. We'll see. Well, today I'm going to do an episode of First Impressions, and this is basically where I like to go to the movies and see the movie and for the first time and kind of give my my thoughts directly after seeing it. And of course it's been last night is whenever I saw it. So it's I've been to work today and everything else, so it's not super fresh on my mind, but I remember it well enough. And I'm not going to spoil it or anything. There might be some just minor, I wouldn't even really consider spoilers. I'm definitely not going to tell you how it ends. I'm not going to tell you any major plot points, or necessarily that's going to give anything away. But I'm just gonna kind of talk about my feelings, towards the movie, and just kind of what I was expecting, and what we didn't get, and what I want. Anyway, so we're just gonna get into it. So, like I said, the movie today is Heart Eyes, which was released on February the 7th of 2025 this year. So it's the first slasher of the year, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but It's directed by Josh Rubin. It stars Olivia Holt, Mason Gooding, and Jordana Brewster, actually, of all people. There's a much larger cast, but those are just the standout people, to me. We're mainly following Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding. And it was labeled as a romantic comedy slasher. And, I thought that was really interesting. It's a rom-com slasher. And, I definitely feel that when I watched the movie. It definitely is absolutely a rom-com slasher, which again we're gonna get into that. So just for starters, I'll say when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I don't remember what movie I'd gone to see, but I saw the first trailer for it, and I was really excited because I've been really, I like, not all, but I like a lot of the newer slashers, like standout ones. I love the Hatchet series. Those are I love those movies. A lot. I like the Terrifier movies a lot. Those are always a lot of fun. And then of course, what they're doing now with Halloween. I liked those. Those legacy sequels to Halloween. Those were fairly enjoyable. And of course, there's some that are not so enjoyable. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Where I'm coming for you. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it eventually. But and of course, there's a ton of holiday horror films, and I'm a big fan of holiday horror. I love Christmas horror movies. I love excuse me, Halloween horror movies. Just that it's a vibe to me. I love to be able to, around it's oh, it's Christmas time. Let's break out all the Christmas horror films, like Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Christmas Evil, and it's a fun little kind of thing. And if you know me, there's certain times of year when I really like to watch certain types of movies. Like right now is winter time, and anytime we actually get some snow, I'm gonna watch The Thing, for sure, absolutely anytime. So I was really excited to get a holiday slasher film, especially considering that Valentine's Day doesn't really have a lot. We have My Bloody Valentine. We've got the movie Valentine, which is really good. I'm gonna have to talk about that one eventually. I don't own it. I need to get on that. I need to get that movie. It's very good. Even the My Bloody Valentine remake was pretty good, to be honest with you. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It's just it was better than some of the other remakes that we got. So this movie, like I said, sorry, now I'm just kind of rambling on and on. This movie started out, whenever we got into the theaters, like I said, I was super pumped. It was in the biggest theater that was in there, and I was really excited. And when it started out, we get this really awesome opening sequence. Like I said, I'm not going to give too much away, but basically, we get a really nice, cold blooded murder opening, and it's so much fun. We get the first look at the killer, who looks super cool. When the killer comes out, he's wearing this big, not big, it's like this long, is what I meant to say, long trench coat, and just dressed all in black, and he's got this really cool mask, which I'm sure if you've seen the trailer, you know what the mask looks like. But the mask looks really cool, and he's just super brutal, very violent. He's got a lot of weapons, he's got a little hand crossbow, a machete, some throwing knives, just all kinds of stuff. So he's equipped. He's strapped, and so we get this really awesome opening sequence with a really, some really cool kills in this in the very beginning, and it really hypes you up, and it's like, oh, this is badass. I love this. So after that, of course, we go. We get this kind of news footage that kind of explains the backstory of the Hard Eyes Killer. HEK is what they call him, and I thought this was really cool too. So basically, every Valentine's Day, HEK comes and he kills couples, just at random, but he'll kill anybody that gets in his way. And I really loved this backstory. I thought it was great. I loved this little news article and or news segment, I guess I should say. And I love all the lore behind Hard Eyes, how everybody's going and it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Don't get killed. And just all the kind of it brings kind of the community together in that way. And I thought that was really cool. I like movies that kind of have this. I guess it's some a type of world building, I guess. But so I really like that. And so when we get into the movie after that, after we're kind of introduced to Hard Eyes and the story of Hard Eyes and kind of what's going on, we meet Allie, who is played by Olivia Holt, and she is. I don't remember exactly what her job title is, but she works. She makes like advertisements and basically for, I don't really know what they sell. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's not important, but she works for this really mean, bitchy lady, and that expects a lot of her. And she's just not doing so good at her job. She's been through a breakup recently, so she's kind of having a hard time. And that's when she meets Jay, who is played by Mason Gooding, and they kind of they have really good chemistry together, and they end up going on a date. But it's one of those things where we're matching really well, but we can't be together because they work together, and there's some stuff that goes on with that. Again, I'm not going to get into that, but there's some stuff going on at their work, so she doesn't want to date him, but he really likes her, and they end up smooching, and when they kiss, the Hard Eyes Killer sees them, so so they're on the list, of course, coincidentally, because Hard Eyes has come to this town this year. So I thought that was really really cool, but it was kind of silly and of course cliche that it just so happens to be in their town, because it's like, why would you, if this serial killer is out on the like, why, I would just be lonely on Valentine's Day. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, like I would just kind of be like, I'm not looking for love this holiday. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to maybe I'll wait till spring break or something. And then on Valentine's Day, we're just not going to go anywhere. We're just going to stay home. How about that? So that's kind of, I thought that was kind of silly, but at the same time, it needed to move the plot forward. And I like their dynamic. Allie and Jay, they have a really, they have great chemistry, even if it is kind of like, she doesn't like him and he likes her, and it just, their banter is great. I loved watching them. They're a lot of fun. And then of course, like I said, they're on Hard Eyes list. Hard Eyes chases them. There's a big chase sequence, and we get some really nice kills. We get a look at this nice drive-in, where there's some kills. And by the way, I said there's some nice kills. There's actually not as many kills as I expected in this movie. I really expected them to go over the top, and I really thought there was going to be a lot more violence and gore, and I mean there was, and the kills that we get are great. But I just wasn't as wasn't what I was expecting. I expected a lot more. Again, that's not a bad thing. That's just kind of how I felt. I was like, there's not as much as I thought there was going to be. Maybe it's just because the movie was pretty short. It's only 97 minutes, so it's fairly short. But anyway, and I will say that too. That to me, that's the best sequence, is the sequence at the drive-in. I really like that, mainly just because I like I like drive-in theaters, and I like the theater and whatever. But so I really liked that. That whole part. And we do get some of the best kills, at this part, or one of the best kills, one of my favorite ones of the movie. And that one, and again, it is one of my favorites, but it's nothing like mind blowing. Like, it's nothing that really just I was taken aback by, and I was like, wow, this is so different. And it really wasn't. But it was still fun. It was still a good time. It was just, I guess I could say it's a little underwhelming. And then, kind of as we go on, Jay and Allie, they end up being they're stalked in the police station, and one of the detectives actually who interviews her, like I said earlier, I think I might have already said her name, but Jordana Brewster is in this movie, and she plays Detective Jeanette Shaw, and she's kind of one of the main detectives on the case. And so I was happy to see Jordana Brewster in this. I was like, oh hey, because I've been watching the Texas Chainsaw movies recently, and yeah. Anyway, um, oh, I may have already said that. I don't remember. I've recorded this a couple of times because I keep screwing stuff up. Anyway, so yeah, as we go on, we get a cool little scene in the police station, and then of course at the end we get the reveal of who the killer is, and then I'm not gonna spoil it, but we get kind of a happy ending. So I thought it was really cliche and, like I said, kind of underwhelming for the most part. It didn't. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to and as much as I expected to, but it was still a fun time. I remember walking, as we walked out of the theater, me and my wife both, we were like, it's like a rom com Scream. And because Scream is so popular, and I like Scream, but Scream has become so just like it. I don't I don't really know what the word is for it, but it's made movies like this very predictable in a way. So that's kind of how I looked at this movie. Was it was very like I could read, you could read it like a book. Like I mean everything going on, you were like, I kind of know what's going to happen with this, and oh, I kind of know what's going to happen with this, and I kind of know what's going to happen with this. And then of course they brought in a lot of rom-com cliches too, so I kind of thought that was fun, but I'm not a big rom com guy, really, personally. But I still thought it was kind of fun. But again, like I said, it was just very predictable, very underwhelming. The killer was cool. I really liked the look of the killer. I don't know if we'll get a sequel to this. They kind of well, I don't want to spoil anything, but they don't necessarily leave off. Again, I'm not gonna get into that, but there's not. If there is a sequel, I wouldn't be surprised. I really do. I could see, if someone was hyping this up and they loved this movie and they were all about it, I could definitely see that. I could see how people could love it, but it just didn't really do it for me. Again, it didn't hold up to, like something like Terrifier, for example. That was something that really blew me away. Terrifier 1 and 2, and 3, all of those movies were really, I was like, damn, this is good, and this is wild. This is out there, This movie wasn't really like that. It was just kind of like, oh, it's just, it's another generic slasher, to me. That's just kind of how I felt about it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I will absolutely watch it again, and and I'll definitely get it on DVD when it comes out. But it's one that if I hadn't been able to see it in theaters, I would have been okay. It wouldn't have bummed me out so much watching it later on, of course. And if you want to know, if you're trying to decide if you want to go to the theaters to see this, or if you just want to skip it, I'd say, yeah, if you want to go on a date, I think it'd be a fun, date movie. If you like this kind of stuff, really, if you and your couple do, that's what me and my wife did. It was our date movie for the night. So I could see that for sure. But if you want, if you're just a hardcore slasher fan and you're looking for, again, say something like the next Terrifier or something like that, that's not what this is going to be. And I kind of think that's what they were sort of going for with this killer. Like I said, I like I like the killer a lot. I really like what they did with him. I just wish they would have done something different with the kind of backstory of the killer and kind of again, I can't really say anything without spoiling it, and I don't want to, but again, it's just like I said, very predictable. It's just another kind of modern slasher film. So I'd say it's worthy of wait for streaming, and it definitely doesn't top My Bloody Valentine by any means, which I will be talking about My Bloody Valentine pretty soon, with Valentine's Day coming up, and I'll probably definitely put this one in the rotation of Valentine's Day, because it's again, it's a holiday that doesn't really have a whole lot of horror movies. But yeah, another thing I'll say too, it reminded me of the movie Happy Death Day, but I actually thought Happy Death Day was a little bit better, and I wasn't really crazy about that movie, to be honest with you. That one I wasn't like, it didn't really do it for me. I like that movie better, but I like The Killer in Hard Eyes better, and I like kind of what they could have done with the backstory. And if you're expecting again, another Jason Voorhees or another Art the Clown or another Victor Crowley or something like that, that's not really what we're gonna get here. Like I said, it's more of, to me, it's like a rom-com Scream. If you had told me that they had a script for, I guess that we're on Scream 7 now, or I think it's number 7. If you told me that they had a script for Scream 7 that was not used, and they just reworked it to have a different killer, and set it on Valentine's Day, I would absolutely believe you that that's what this started out as, because that's kind of the direction it goes in. And like I said, I'm not trying to compare it to Scream or anything like that, but it's just that's the feeling it gave me. It felt like a newer Scream movie. It is kind of funny. Of course, there are some funny moments that made me chuckle, but it wasn't really, again, nothing over the top, nothing crazy. It was just more of a kind of mid ground, sort of a movie. And there is some woke stuff in here too. I'll warn you, if you're not about the wokeness or whatever, I'm not. But it really wasn't too bad. It wasn't over the top. It definitely wasn't like fucking like Black Christmas 2019. That's, oh god, or something like that. We'll have to talk about that one day too. Say, I love the original Black Christmas. That's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And the remake isn't bad. Black Xmas. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible, and it's good on its own. For its own thing. But Black Christmas 2019 was, and I was, of course, when I said the remake, I think I was talking about the one I think that came out in 2006. I think is when it came out. That one's, it's all right. I'll watch it. But the 2019 version of Black Christmas, that should not have been called Black Christmas by any means. So sorry, I'm getting off topic. We're talking about Hard Eyes here. We're not talking about Black Christmas, but I wish we were. That was a more enjoyable kind of holiday movie. I'll have to talk about that one soon, or not soon. It'll probably be next Christmas. So we'll have to wait for that one. But I love it. Got that Scream Factory Blu-ray last year, so. It's nice. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. When Heart Eyes comes out on DVD, or is released on physical media, or maybe even streaming, I'll do an actual review for it, because some of the other first impressions videos I did, like Alien Romulus, Terrifier 3 was another one I did, Nosferatu, all of those I'd like to do actual reviews for, because those definitely stood out to me. Heretic is another one I'd like to do a review for once I get it. I don't think I did a first. Anyway, so those are a few that I definitely want to do full-on reviews, and I'll definitely be doing this one when it comes out. I'll talk a little bit more in depth with it, and we'll do sort of more of a spoiler thing. I'm sorry if I spoiled anything for anybody on here. I tried not to, really. I mean, I didn't give anything that I wouldn't want to hear away necessarily. I just kind of, again, you'll kind of be able to already kind of know what's going on once you watch the movie. I think the movie kind of spoils itself in a way, but anyway, absolutely, like I said, if you want to check this one out, you could. If you want to wait for streaming, it's not gonna, you're not gonna be missing a whole lot, but it's whatever, save that money or support your local theater, whatever have you. But anyway, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're talking about My Bloody Valentine from 1981, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's next. That's what we're going to be talking about next time. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.